I think we all remember the insane heights Minecraft reached in 2019 and 2020. The combination of us all being stuck inside with nothing better to do, and of course the surge of new and exciting Minecraft content on YouTube and Twitch, made Minecraft the biggest game in the world for years. Now, we all know what some of this content was. The DreamSMP, of course, comes to mind, which, while it's arguably not aged well, is undoubtedly the most popular SMP of all time. Then there was also PewDiePie's playthrough of the game. The game had reached such heights that the biggest YouTuber in the world was playing it. Maybe the more knowledgeable of you will think of SMP Live, an SMP which arguably set the foundations for the Dream SMP, and represents a point which I've heard people deem to be the beginning of Minecraft's revival. But this video isn't about any of those, because I don't actually think that SMP Live represented Minecraft's revival. I think it happened before that. The creator this video is about isn't even really a Minecraft creator. He just happened to integrate Minecraft into his variety content at a time in which Minecraft was ready to make a major breakthrough into mainstream content creation. I think perhaps more relevantly, he was the first to create Minecraft content for those who grew up with the game but had since moved on from it. Perhaps for the first time in Minecraft content creation history, a content creator was blowing up with Minecraft, and his audience was not predominantly children. And that creator was the former Team Fortress 2 YouTuber known as RTGame. RTGame, or Daniel, had been on the internet for a very long time when 2018 rolled around. His first video on his YouTube channel, now unlisted, is episode 1 of a Terraria Let's Play made in collaboration with 2 of his friends, uploaded in 2011.
A Let's Play of Terraria.
Aye.
And Zach is currently drowning himself for reasons we will never know. We'll just never know.
Soon after, Daniel would make a Team Fortress 2 video that did very well compared to the rest of his content on the channel. Although, I can't actually see this video. See, all of RTGame's content made before around 2018 has now been unlisted. It's only now accessible via playlists on the RTGame channel. Point being, it's a little hard to get a full picture of how the channel was going throughout these years because, well, the information simply isn't available. Nonetheless, in June of 2012, on a video that is currently viewable, Daniel says he's going to start making more TF2 solo commentary videos due to the previous one being so successful. By the end of the next month, after making quite a bit more content, the RTGame channel had reached 300 subscribers. And for the next several years, Daniel would maintain the RTGame channel as primarily being based around this style of content. Usually videos would amass from 1,000 to 10,000 views, which for a channel of that size wouldn't have been too bad, although occasionally Daniel's work would pay off even more than it usually did. For example, with the video TF2, The Saharan Spy, which amassed over 120,000 views. As the years went on, RTGame basically did exactly the same thing, with around the same level of success. A lot of content with a few thousand views, with some far more than that. Looking through this playlist though, I do notice a shift in view counts during 2016. The average view count would shift from thousands to tens of thousands to getting over 100,000 every other video. It is at this point where we reach 2017 and the first publicly watchable video on the RTGame channel. It's titled Uncle Dan, the Cheap Knockoff Century Man. This video is a departure from Daniel's previous content as it is essentially entirely a meme. It seems to be a meme specifically for those within the TF2 community, making reference to other YouTubers that I, a wannabe Minecraft YouTuber, have never heard of. Regardless of whether or not I have any idea what's going on in this video, in the comments of this video, Daniel makes it clear that this is one of the most significant videos in his YouTube career. In his own words, posted several years after this video was uploaded. This was the first video on my channel that led to a marked increase in the quality of my content. I've been making videos since 2011, when I was 16, but it was the events following this video that led to my full-time career on YouTube and Twitch. Soon after this, Daniel would release TF2 Hightower, but it's an even higher tower. As far as I can tell, this is the first video on the RTGame channel which would have gained over 1 million views. At this point, RTGame was taking off like it had never done before. Daniel would upload many more videos of the style, and they often did quite well, almost always gaining over 100,000 views, and sometimes much more than that. But after about a year of doing this, RTGame would do something quite risky for YouTubers to do. See, on YouTube, particularly if you're a smaller YouTuber, by that I mean under 1 million subscribers, which RTGame was at the time, a fairly safe bet is to stay within a niche. If you make a lot of the same kind of content, YouTube will know who to show your content to so they actually watch it. So as a creator, it's a good idea to do that. But as human beings, making the same kind of content over and over again can become a bit boring, to say the least, and completely unfulfilling in the long term. So at a certain point, we often see creators shift to making more diverse content. But you have to be careful with this, because sometimes doing this can straight up kill your channel. If you stop making videos which your current audience want to watch, then you don't have an audience anymore. But if you're smart, or maybe if you're just lucky, making diverse content can vastly widen your audience, taking your channels to heights it hasn't ever reached before. I go into all of this because on June the 18th, 2018, RTGame would release a video which completely reshaped the future of his channel. It's not Minecraft yet, but it is the first video I ever saw from RTGame. And I think there's actually a decent chance that you have actually seen this video pop up in your recommended feed before. The video is titled "Skyrim is a flawless masterpiece with no flaws whatsoever." To date, it has amassed nearly 3 million views, which from what I can tell is the most any video had gotten on the RTGame channel thus far. To say the least, Daniel's risk had paid off. From here, RTGame would quickly shift entirely to the variety content which the channel is now known for. Videos would usually consist of stream highlights in which Daniel would just do the most ridiculous things he could think of to great comedic effect. This style of content thrived in sandbox games in which there were very few limits on what the player could do. Fallout and Skyrim, as I'm sure you can imagine, are great examples of this, but also games like Planet Coaster or The Sims, where it wasn't so much Daniel's character doing ridiculous stuff, but him creating ridiculous stuff for the simulated people to interact with. And given all this, let me ask you in the audience something. What is the most versatile sandbox game in existence? What would give Daniel the most freedom to achieve what he wanted to achieve out of any game? And even better, the other characters in that sandbox weren't simulated. They were real, living people on a server. You already know what it is. It's in the title of this video. It is Minecraft. On July the 23rd, 2018, RTGame would upload Minecraft Skyblock, but there's 50 players on the server. This man literally got his viewers, let them onto a server, and watched everything go to shit. It is YouTube gold. The video is currently sitting at over 7.3 million views. To this day, it is among the highest viewed videos on his channel. But before we continue Daniel's story, I want to go in another direction for a while. Obviously, this was a big deal for Daniel's career, but this video essay isn't directly about RTGame. Rather, it is about RTGame's influence on Minecraft content creation. Because although it might not seem like it, I think this video marks the very beginning of a new phase of Minecraft content creation on YouTube. And to explain why, I'm going to have to give a bit of history. People sometimes talk about Minecraft revival in 2019 or 2020, which kind of implies that Minecraft at one point died and came back. To be fair, that's obviously inaccurate. A game as omnipresent in our society as Minecraft could never really die, at least within our lifetimes. What did happen, in my opinion, is that for a time Minecraft became bluntly uncool. I'll explain this from my perspective as someone who grew up with the game.
Hooray! Minecraft! We've created a new server and we're going to show people how to play Minecraft, how to survive the first night.
When my mother bought me the game in the year of our Lord 2011, Minecraft was just starting to absolutely blow up. A lot of kids had seen it around, but not everyone had played it yet. On YouTube, creators like the Yogscast, Ant Venom and Captain Sparkles had gotten a significant amount of success from the game, but Minecraft content creators had not yet been propelled to the superstardom in the eyes of every 10-year-old boy status that they would achieve in the coming years. So while I was not super early into playing the game, my first version was 1.7.3, I did get onto it before the groups that found it at its first peak. Point being, I had the time to play the game for a few years, get really into it, and then have it fade away as an interest as I became a teenager. When that happened, Minecraft was still extremely popular with kids. So, as all teenagers inevitably do, I started to look down on the younger Minecraft-obsessed kids as being stuck in a phase I'd grown out of. This lasted for a few years. I never disliked the game, to be fair, and acknowledged my good memories with it. But for example, when I saw friends' younger brothers watching Dan TDM or Stampy Longhead, I would just cringe. No hate to those creators, they were just making children's content at a time when I was a teenager, who of course wanted to be anything but a child. And in memes, over the next few years, we would all make fun of Minecraft kids. I think it was something we all found amusing because whether or not we admitted it, we were Minecraft kids just a few years before. But then, when my generation reached our late teenage years, something interesting happens. Gradually, over quite a long time, people started playing Minecraft again. But, as a joke. It became funny to play Minecraft. And then, once a lot of people were playing it, it became almost post-ironic to keep playing it. In other words, the draw of playing the game was partially tongue-in-cheek, but we all had good memories with the game, and once we started playing, we enjoyed ourselves and kept playing. If there was a Minecraft revival, this is the moment within my generation's cultural consciousness where it started. And now we loop back to RTGame. Why, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, does his Minecraft content represent this shift? Because when I saw them in my recommended feed at age 17, maybe like a month after seeing Skyrim as a perfect masterpiece with no flaws whatsoever, my instant reaction was to scoff and give a good chuckle. I thought he got 50 people in his chat to play Minecraft, of all things. And knowing he wasn't a Minecraft kids YouTuber, and assuming he had made this video with this perception of the game in mind, I clicked on it, hoping to ironically enjoy it. But then, to my surprise, I enjoyed it sincerely. This guy was doing something genuinely really cool with the game that I had never thought of before. And finally, a Minecraft video was appealing to me. Not because it was made for children and I was a child, but in a way where someone much older could actually enjoy it. There are quite a few of these videos on the RTGame channel, and Daniel still makes them to this day. They are all sort of similar, with each video giving those on the server a theme to build around or a scenario to interact with. Each time the enjoyment of the video comes from the utter absurdity of what is unfolding before your eyes. There's no way I can talk about all of these videos. We'd be here for hours if I did that. Instead, I'm going to go into depth about a few of my favorites. The first of which being the aforementioned Skyblock video. Everyone knows Skyblock. It has been the subject of Minecraft YouTube videos for as long as some of us can remember. So if we're going with the strategy of Minecraft is funny kids game that we all remember, it makes sense to start there. And would you know, when you get 50 people on a single Skyblock world, it goes about exactly how you would expect. The initial tree disappears pretty much instantly, and then would you believe the 50 people were unsuccessful at building a cobblestone generator with the water and lava they had. The single source block of water was destroyed before RTGame's very eyes. So at this point they've already utterly failed at Skyblock, and so to keep the stream going, the mods just start spawning everything in. usually in the forms of giant blocks of whatever they needed just floating in the sky. Tree saplings were planted for a decent amount of time as they were the primary method of keeping anything on the server going. About half of those online spent their time just staring at them. That is, of course, until someone inevitably broke them and the dirt they were placed on. So the mods did what they do and spawned a giant floating block of logs in the distance, which everyone had to bridge to woods. Remember though, that to progress at all earlier in the video, lava had to be given out. And because when 50 people are in a confined space, they all just collectively go insane, some of them decided to place said lava on top of the block of logs, slowly causing the log to become engulfed in fire and lava. This led to the slow yet inevitable gruesome death for everyone involved. Perhaps more relevantly to this video is where RTGame mentions how crazy it is for a Minecraft stream to be doing this well in 2018. He expresses shock that a Minecraft stream was getting, wait for it, 2,000 views.
What is this? 2,000 people watching Minecraft. Like, what year is this, you know?
Well guys, you're all very welcome to my Minecraft Let's Play part 348,000.
I just want to put this in perspective. I checked now at a bad time for streaming worldwide, and there are 3 streamers over 2k and one of them had over 20k, though it was XQC. But also note just how quickly that would change. In 2018 it was crazy for Minecraft to receive 2k views. In just 3 years, in 2021, Tommy Innit would hit the highest viewed Minecraft stream ever at over 650,000 max viewers. The second video I want to discuss is another one of RTGame's most popular Minecraft videos. It's called I Trapped 200 Minecraft Plays Inside a Cube of Bedrock, currently sitting at 6.3 million views. I'm bringing this one up because while it is also an example of Daniel just kind of torturing his audience, it's also an example of something I rather appreciate about a lot of these videos. That being that him and his mods are giving hundreds of people a large amount of resources and just kind of seeing what happens. And although I wouldn't call any of these builds good, it is genuinely somewhat fascinating to see what is done here. Daniel makes the explicit choice to predominantly give players on the server redstone torches, the most ineffective source of light that one can craft in the game. The entirety of this build is predominantly lit up with redstone torches. This manages to give the build a unique, weirdly otherworldly vibe, at a time where I was not expecting to get that at all from a Minecraft video. Seeing a kind of civilization put itself together, including up the walls of an inescapable cube with incredibly little light to illuminate it, is weirdly interesting. I want to highlight how big these videos quickly got in terms of how many people are on there. This is 200 people, as opposed to the Skyblock video which had 50. In fact, within this video, the server regularly just straight up breaks, causing Daniel and everyone on the server to have to log back on. Usually this is because a moderator, or Daniel, did something stupid like give everyone 64 sheep eggs. At which point everyone obviously just spammed them all into existence, causing everything to lag and break. The final video I want to discuss is I trapped 100 Minecraft players underground and forced them to build a Fallout vault. Now, people might not remember that in the year of our Lord 2018, a new Fallout game was on the horizon. That game being Fallout 76. And Daniel and his community were all quite excited for it. They often embraced this via memes that would continuously pop up in RTGame videos, notably the song Country Roads by John Denver, the lyrics to which were all just written on a wall within the vault in this very video. You know, I prefer to watch this video pretending that I don't know what ended up happening with Fallout 76. Either way, this is probably the most impressive in terms of the quality of the actual build that I have documented in this video. It's at the very least produced a less completely random result, with the final project actually forming a cohesive project. Participants in this video took it upon themselves to build a massive gate to the vault, something which actually wasn't directed by RTGame at all. Of course, the memes are still here. Some people just made a whole room of lamps and levers, but there is also some attempt to make this accurate to the games. people build farms and living areas, none of which there's actually any reason to build for their gameplay, nor is it actually inherently entertaining to watch. They just did it to be accurate to Fallout. And just to close out this section, I want to highlight the fact that it was rather common for participants to just kind of rise up in rebellion against Daniel. They would often scroll help around their build and signs or blocks or whatever it may be. And in this video went so far as to build a competing vault to the main one entirely for the sake of making Daniel's life harder. And I mean, I'm sure you can imagine that given some of the things that have happened in these videos, the rebellion did not end well for those involved. Something that has stuck out to me while writing this video, particularly the section about specific RTGame videos, is that these kinds of videos are actually rather common now. It might not be entirely obvious why I even focus on them. They seem a little bit generic by today's standards. And I've never thought about it, but I do think that RTGame was kind of the first to do it. At least for a somewhat mainstream audience. Sure, collaborative builds are almost as old as the game itself, but specifically, mobilizing one's audience from a live stream to get on a server and then get themselves into an absurd situation or build something extremely funny was something I don't really think existed before this point. And to me, watching at the time as a late teenager, it was the first Minecraft content that had really appealed to me since I had become a teenager. At first I enjoyed these videos with a level of irony, but as I actually started enjoying seeing what people built, the irony became sincere. Sure enough, it was around this time when me and my friends actually started playing the game again for the first time in a while. It was the beginning of our cycle of the occasional 2-week Minecraft server phase that many gamer friend groups now get. And specifically for me, this absolutely primed me for the content which came out within the next year that was aimed towards an audience of my age group and older about Minecraft. This content not only was successful based on a sincere enjoyment of the game, but of an active and powerful collective nostalgia for the game that an entire generation had. A huge example, J/, who was actually popularized in part due to the video essay A Tribute to Minecraft, a video which unapologetically reveled in the emotions that many of us felt towards the game. And then SMP Live started, which not only included J/ and other popular new generation Minecraft creators, but also creators from our childhood such as Ant Venom and Captain Sparkles. And maybe this would have happened without RTGame's videos. To be honest, I think it probably would have. I think that my generation had grown up a bit beyond the instant dismissal of anything we could possibly see as childish, which a lot of teenagers get. Therefore, we would have had a large-scale return to the game no matter what. What I will argue though is that these videos and the fact that they, to an extent, broke into a more mainstream audience on YouTube and Twitch at the time represent something very special. It represents the time where me and many other people my age looked at the game and said, hey, maybe Minecraft is kind of special. And I'm not a kid for thinking that.